What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this is the Empire Season 5, Episode 11 recap for In Love and Virtue. I want to thank all my supporters that support my work at patreon.com/ Jaymoorereviews. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you like the video, hit that like. Let's get into it. We see Jamal playing the piano, singing do 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 do, and he's imagining he's got an orchestra and he's dreaming about the good times he had with his boo thing, and so he's all into it and he's feeling the vibe. Meanwhile, back at the Lion's Den, we see Cookie and Lucius, and they on two opposite sides of the bed. He tries to grab her hand like Trump, but she deflects it like, I ain't trying to be a part of this. And so he like, how are you gonna be mad at me about this? She say, it seems like every time it's some new landmine or some explosion I gotta get rid of. And he like, I thought we was in this together. She like, you see this? We is, but still, we gotta do better, okay? We can't do this. I don't know about all this. I don't know, and I'm sorry. That's an excuse. He like, how could you blame me for this? And so, meanwhile, Jamal is playing, and then he realized he all alone. And so she like, you know what? I can't keep arguing and doing this with you, Lucius. We got to do better, okay? We can't keep doing like this. He like, everybody's had done something off of somebody else's pain. And then she get a text from Jamal that he down in the studio. So she gone down there and he making his little song, love song for his little boo Kai. And so he's singing about that do 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 butter. And so she like, oh Ma, it's okay. He gonna be back. Don't worry. And he like, I don't know. I think he's gone. But I'm here for the family, Mom. She like, okay, well good. Cause I need your help more than ever. And he like, okay, well, we're gonna make this work. We gotta do better. And she like, yeah, that's right. I don't know what better is though. But we lions and we gotta help your daddy know. And he like, yeah. He's gonna do better. We gonna do it. And so she happy. Meanwhile, Andre's getting dressed, and right when he's coming, his beautiful girlfriend Terry comes with a little gift, and so he's like, "Oh, what is this?" And she like, "Open it," and then it's a briefcase. He like, "Oh, Terry, you didn't have to do this." She like, "Hey, I wanted to do something for you, okay?" He like, "But you didn't have to spend the money." She like, "It's okay. We wanted to do something nice for you." And then he give her a kiss, and so he feeling better. She like, so how is everything? He like, well, I think I'm feeling better. And then he get a phone call, and it's the doctor. And so he talking to the doctor, and she looking all concerned while he talking to the doctor. And so while he get talking to the doctor, he seem like he gets some good news. He get off the phone, she looking all good and sexy, and then he like, hey, I got good news. He said it was just a busted membrane. That booger nose explosion was nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, we see back at Empire, they got some type of focus group going on, and they all talking crazy about Lucius. They like, where Lucius anyway? I know where he is. He cheating on his wife, having babies, and so he getting salty about that because dude looked like he had an afro made out of pubic hair in the first place. And so Lucius go in there and he like, what's up, man? How y'all doing up in here, man? And so he like, oh, Lucius, I love you. I'm sorry. And she like, yeah, Lucius, I love you too. And he like, oh, well, thank you, but it didn't sound like y'all love me up in here, man. And so they all looking around or whatever, and then he like, yeah. They're like, where's Cookie? Is Cookie there too? And then before he could say something, Cookie, she looking or whatever, and then she decides she gonna walk in there too. She like, hey, everybody. They like, it's Cookie Lion. And they like, yeah. What you all need to know is that I'm back. And then she gave him the look with a little side eye attached to it. And he like, we're back. And then he grabbed her hand and he like, so don't you all worry. We're gonna gain your trust back, okay, man? And so everybody starts smiling or whatever and clapping. Seem like it's all good. Meanwhile, back at the meeting, he like, I want to let y'all know the analytics is dead. And then he take a little baseball bat and start bashing the computer up and stuff like he was back in The Sopranos. And so everybody looking or whatever. And so they like, he like, we come here to make music and to make some money. And so right now, I'm just letting y'all know that we are back, and we ain't gonna make music based off a computer. And so then Giselle like, yeah, and now with partners, I'm the new COO. And Cookie like, yeah, and we gonna have Andre, he gonna be the COO too. And then he gonna be running the business. And then we gonna have Jamal, he gonna be the creative director. And so then Jamal like, yeah, music and family first, always. And then they're like, yeah, and Becky, she gonna be right here with my side. And then we gonna have Hakeem, and he gonna be also the talent director too. And he gonna make sure, he like, yeah, we ready to crank some hits. We got y'all, right? And so they like, yeah. And she like, yeah. And don't forget, Becky, my sister from another mister, she gonna be here too. She got some great ideas to improve the lunch menu. Let's go, Becky. He like, all right, man. Now, let y'all go on out there and make some money, okay? This is for Empire, and we are back, all right? And everybody all hyped. Meanwhile, Becky and Giselle walking off. She like, I can't believe you did it. She like, we did it, okay? I just want to make sure you got my back. And she like, I got your back. And so then they do a little pinky swear. And she like, I just don't know how you pulled it off. She like, girl, I told you we got it. And she looking all good and sexy, and they talking or whatever. And Becky, she feeling all empowered. She like, we gonna do fashion week and everything. She like, I gotta get a dress, girl. Meanwhile, Treasure, she like, yeah, you guys' speech was so inspiring, and I just want to be able to talk to you for a minute, and I got some great ideas. And they like, oh, look at you. Now, this the same person that said that recording in our living room was cute, huh? And it was. She like, it wasn't personal. She like, yeah, but if we kick your ass out of here and have you thrown out, how would that feel? She like, what? And she like, oh yeah, it got real personal fast. And then Lucia's like, look here, man, if you go ahead and you make some money for us, then you can stay. If you don't make no money for Empire, then you got to go. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and give you a chance, and you going to make some money. Now go on up out of here. And so then she looking stupid, and then she leave, and then Cookie look at him. She like, well, where did that come from? What you talking about? Where you get so forgiving? He like, well, you said I need to be better, so here we go. Meanwhile, Andre, he gets stopped by Devon in the hallway. He like, hey, Andre, I want to be a part of New Empire. He like, oh, man, don't worry. You managed by Lion LFM. We gonna get you. He like, no, my label won't let me do it, man. He like, well, I'm going to check into it for you. Meanwhile, back upstairs, they got a meeting going on. And they like, look, we are in financial trouble right now. Kingsley made bad investments. He like, yeah, Pop, I got a 5-year plan to get us back on track. He like, 5 years, man? What you talking about? What you mean 5 years? Like, look, we trying to get things together. I'm trying to get that money back. She like, for that Eddie stole, but they wouldn't give it to me. She like, oh yeah, you mean for us? He like, yeah. He like, well, look, I'm going to figure out something because my legacy on the line. And he leave. And when he get downstairs, Cosby Jr. was right there at the elevator about to come up. He like, look, I need to talk to you about something. He like, look, I need you to go ahead and set up an arrangement for me to meet up with Damon Cross. He like, oh, Damon Cross, hey, look, I advise not to do that. He like, hey, then as your employer, I advise you to set it up. I did some investigation. I know you used to work for him, okay? Now, set it up and make sure that I get to talk to him. He got a nice little laundering business. He owe me a favor. And so now Thirsty, he like, damn. Meanwhile, we see Cookie, and she's talking to Maya, and she bringing us some coffee, and she like, what's this? He like, well, I didn't know which kind you like, so I brought them all, and your speech was so inspiring, and I got so much to offer. And she like, hold up a minute, you barely been with me for a month, and now you talking about a promotion? You need to pump the brakes. She like, but I got so much to offer. She like, oh, well, what you need to do is go up there and talk to Portia. And she turned and left, and she like, oh, wait, I can't get my coffee now? It's like that. And so meanwhile, we see Tiana going into the studio to talk to Jamal, and she like, hey Jamal, you know the kids is asking where's Uncle Jamal and Kai Kai, and he like, well, Kai Kai went bye-bye. She like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know. He says, oh, it's okay. So I'm working on this new song, and I need a strong vocalist, and she like, I'm your girl. You don't even have to worry. He like, but you haven't even heard the song yet. She like, I trust you. He like, it's all right, we family. And they hug it out. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, they have the meeting going on with Lucius and Damon, and so he coming, everybody shaking up. He shake with Giselle looking beautiful and sexy, and they introduce themselves. And so then he sit down and they try to introduce with Cookie, and Cookie looking good, and he try to play it off like he don't know her. And she like, oh yeah, remember we was in the elevator at Moet? And he like, when did we go to Moet, man? And she like, no, not us. And then he talking to her. She like, remember the elevator? And he's trying to put, I don't remember. I know the great Cookie lying, but I don't remember the meeting. And she like, it's okay. And so he like, look here, we know that you got some type of influence in Panama, man, and we need to try to get this money from one of our former employees that has some money there. She like, yeah, if I go down there with you. And Cookie like, well, it might not be a good look with Eddie's ex going there again, and so maybe I'll go, because Lucius, he can't go, he got the meetings. And so she like, so I think that's settled, unless he like a challenge. He like, well, I don't mind the challenge. He like, well, look like it's all settled then. And so then we see later the next day, Andre is meeting with Devon's manager, and so he's talking to him about that, and he's like, hey, look, we would like for Devon to record some songs with Empire artists. He like, you see that? That's from the Samurai. I'm consider myself Code of the Samurai. And he like, so look, here's a little money, little payola. We like to do a little songs with him. He starts smiling. He like, okay, that's nice. But Devon can't record any singles with you first, because if he have hits with you all, then we come off looking like sloppy seconds. And we can't have that, Andre. And so he kind of smiling it off some, trying to play it. And he like, Devon like, I didn't mean no disrespect. He like, it's all right. But, you know, we can't come off doing it like that. So Devon can't do anything until he already releases something with us. Andre like, all right, well, thanks for, and we'll talk to you later. And he walk off. Meanwhile, at Empire, we see Jamal in the studio working on the beat. And then Treasure come in. She like, oh yeah, I like that. That sounds good. And then he says, oh, okay, well, thanks. What's going on? And she like, oh yeah, that I got something I want to play for you. I would love to do a song with you. And so she puts on the music, and so he says, oh, okay, playing my own songs, okay, sounds good. And then she says, just wait. And then her vocals come in and kick in, and then she like, he says, oh yeah, that's real good. And then she says, oh, okay, that beat is good, how about that? And he said, no, that's for Tiana. She said, oh, okay, well, that'd be a nice breathy solo. And he like, slow up, Tiana's family, you can't go there. And she says, I'm just saying, I would really like to work with you. He says, okay, well, you go and I'll think about it. Meanwhile, Andre returns, and he like, Andre, we had an appointment. He says, look, here's the contract. I came to you earlier, and I figured maybe I didn't offer you enough. And so he says, maybe I forgot a few things. He says, no, Andre. And then he goes and grabs his samurai sword and points it at him when he came over there. He sit your ass down before I make change. And so he sits down and he says, so the samurai, they knew how to, craft, take care of their opponents. And so you don't have that same type of skill. And he starts tearing up his samurai thing, and he says, hey, now, I want you to sign the contract. He says, no, look, Devon can do some songs, okay? He said, I asked nicely earlier. Now, I want the whole contract. So sign it. And he looking all scared right now. And then Andre like, sign it. I want you to sign it. And then he starts chopping up the samurai doll or whatever. And then he got about to chop off the head, decapitated. And so he all scared. No, not the samurai suit. And so he signs it all up. And Andre like, oh, yeah, sign it, boy. Sign it. And he all hyped up now. He's starting to, let that power go to his head. And then he grabs the contract. He like, yeah, that's what I thought. And then he called him, the punk, whatever, and walks off. Meanwhile, we see in Panama that they go ahead to the meeting, and it's Cookie and Damon. And so they checking into the hotel. And he says, now look, this guy's old school. And, he like to keep a woman in this place. She like, oh, maybe you don't remember meeting me, because I don't listen to what no man say. And he says, well, look, I just wanted to show you this. And then he gave her the little card, the matchbook. And then she like, oh, so you do remember. He said, well, I didn't want to say anything because then maybe Lucius wouldn't let you go anywhere. And she like, oh, what? Lucius, my man can't stop me from going where I want to go. And let's keep this thing clear. We here for one reason, to get my money, okay? And he like, oh, okay. And then he play it cool, and then they go to their rooms. Meanwhile, back at Empire, we see Maya trying to talk to Portia now. And so she's saying, hey, look, you should sign Blake and this and that. And she says, look, I'm not trying to have that landmine with Blake, Tiana, and Hakeem. And she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And then she says, look, I used to be you once, but with more style. I didn't have this shoulder lean sweater on. And so then she says, look, you need to know your place. She says, well, speaking of know your place, I didn't hear your name called when they were giving out all those new promotions and things. And she says, what? She says, yeah. So why are you saying all of that? I think you need to know your place. And then she walk off and Portia's salty. Meanwhile, we see later at Fashion Week, Hakeem is there with Bella and he's, trying to look cool. And then we see Tiana coming with a little Queen Tut, little Egyptian facial. And then we see Treasure come in with the little flat chest V-neck sweater. And so Becky is looking at everything because she's running security. And so next thing you know, all the people she taking pictures, Treasure, until Bella runs over there. And now they all focusing on Tiana. So she getting salty. And so they going back and forth, start telling little jabs, talking crazy under their breath to each other. And she's saying, you tried to steal my song with Jamal. And she like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to, bring Empire back. And so Becky getting salty, looking at them about to argue with a little cat fight on the red carpet. And so then Treasure is rubbing on her hair and she like, look, don't touch me. And they all in each other's face or whatever. And then Becky come and break it up, put her little hand in her face. And then she move them out the way. And so then she tell them to break it up and move on. And so once they leave, Becky was left on the red carpet by herself. So she was like, oh, it's time for some Becky time. And then next thing you know, she started flexing them 42-inch pythons. And then she kind of poked out that rump roast as best she could to try to look good for the cameras. Meanwhile, we see up at Empire, Lucius is having a little interview and they asking him about how's it feel that your son ruined the company. He like, what you mean, man? And then before he could finish talking, then Thirsty came up in there, Cosby Jr. say, hey man, we got a problem. He like, I thought you could buy me some time. He like, hey, time's up. We got to go over to the nursing home. And so then next thing you know, they get ready to walk out and leave. And then Lucius goes there and he's talking at the nursing home. And she like, that your last couple checks didn't come. He like, well, this right here to take care for what we miss in the next 6 months, all right? And then he walks and he sees his mama snapping, telling these people all kind of craziness. And then he sees this his mama and he walks over. She like, Dwight? And then he walks up into the room and he like, yeah, what's going on? And she like, don't you touch my stuff. What wrong with you, boy? You gotta get out of here. And then she talking to him and she like, so what are you doing here? I saw your bastard son. What did your little chocolate chip have to say about that? And he like, oh, how'd you know about him? She like, oh, you think I didn't know, huh? He came to visit me, huh? How's it feel? We finally got something in common. We both got 2 kids we never wish was born with your evil ass. And he like, oh, okay. He about to cry. He got the Michael Jordan face going. And then she like, oh, don't cry. What, you feeling sad? He like, all my life doing bad things is because I didn't have a mother that loved me. She say, oh, no, don't blame that on this. That evil was there all the time. It ain't going nowhere. And he said, you know what? Neither are you. And then he leaves and leave her there crying. Meanwhile, we see back at the studio, we got Tiana. She like, look, I'm trying to focus, okay? I'm trying to move past that stuff the Treasure started. And then Giselle like, oh yeah, you trying to focus, huh? And Becky like, that's she trying to focus, okay? And then Treasure walk in, what's Mama T doing here? And then she like, what is Treasure doing here? Bury Treasure. And then we see Giselle looking good and Becky looking looking fool, and they like, y'all need to sit down. We need to get this together. And so then they like, look, you all need to focus. It's gonna cost $100,000 to get those pictures back. Y'all two about to fight on the red carpet. We don't have money for that. Do we got money for that, B? She like, we don't have money, G. And so they got their little black girl magic on fire right now. And so they looking stupid, the two Slims tag team. And so then Jamal come in. He like, they like, oh, what is this going on, Jamal? And she like, it look like you being replaced. And she like, oh no, you didn't. And Jamal like, okay, you finished? Because everybody got problems, okay? But I'm here. I'm being professional. So why can't you be professional, okay? If you can't be professional, both of you can get your happy ass out of here, okay? And so they get all quiet and stuff because, you know, he relating on the girl talk level. And so he like, all right, so what we gonna do? And then they both pointed to the door like, get up out of here. And so he like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my vocals off the song and I'm gonna put you on there. And then she like, oh, and Treasure laughing, and she like, you haven't had a song with a strong female, Tiana. And Treasure, you barely had a song at all. And she like, ooh, and Treasure salty. And then they both like, all right, now y'all gonna stop or what? And then she like, we need y'all to come together or else neither one of y'all gonna do nothing. And so they salty. Meanwhile, Devon come back to Empire to thank Andre. He like, hey, did you hear? He let me out the contract. He said, hey man, sometimes good things happen to those that deserve it. He like, hey man, thanks a lot. Meanwhile, we see back in Panama, Cookie, she's sitting at the table with the meeting with Pablo Escobar. And so he's like speaking in Spanish, and he's saying, hey man, I'm trying to impress this lady, but if you don't get this money, we gonna close all the accounts. And so she like, hey, I know this don't sound like everything working out, but I need to get this money back for my company. Like, oh, the Latin lover, I am the most interesting man in the world, you know. And so then Damon Cross was like, hey, look, hey, if this don't work out, then we gonna have to change business. He said, you gonna do this and ruin our relationship? He said, that's Cookie lying. She worth it. And then she toast up to him and like, okay, and I ain't going nowhere without my money. Meanwhile, back at Empire, we see Blake and Portia, and they rapping and flowing, and she got a little flow going. Blake liking it. It looked like they may be the new Salt and Pepper duo coming of age. And so then she tell him to go in the studio, start recording. And then Maya come in. She like, what's this going on? And she like, oh hey, what's up? I signed Blake. She like, oh okay, is that right? And she like, yeah, what's up? What's the problem? Then you say I need to know my lane or whatever. Then she like, oh, okay, but I didn't know. You said it wasn't gonna work. And she like, well, I told Cookie and she liked it, and you know what? I took the credit for it too. So hey. And she like, well, you know what? I'm about to go and find some more ideas for you to steal. Meanwhile, back at Panama, Cookie like, how much do I owe you? He like, look, let's not worry about that. Let's go ahead and dance. Let's celebrate. And so he trying to do the horizontal mambo. And so then she like, he like, so she like, let me remind you, I'm married. He like, yeah, but do you want to be? She like, what you mean? What kind of question is that? He like, it's simple. I mean, do you want to be married? She like, I think we need to go. And so she trying to leave, and he like, well, I'm not gonna chase you. You'll see. You'll come back to me. Meanwhile, Andre, he's all getting hot and bothered with his sexy girlfriend, and things is going good. He said he feeling good. Then he get a call from the doctor, and so he answered the phone, and that break up the mood. He pop up, and he like, she like, what is it? He said it is some test results came back, and he wants me to come into the doctor's office tomorrow. And so they kind of worried. Now we see Thirsty looking like a big raccoon. The rabbit look like it's getting a little old, and he trying to get some jerk chicken. And then the cops come, and they like, we need to talk to you. He get in the car. He like, what do I owe the pleasure? And she like, look, we need to talk to you about Damon Cross. He like, who? She like, look, he like, it's attorney-client privileges. And then she says, look, I thought you knew better than that. It's either Damon Cross or Lucius Lyon. Who are you going to give up for your freedom? And then it got him thinking. Meanwhile, Cookie feeling good coming back from the meeting. She was kind of feeling him, but she wanted to stay married in good terms. She can see a little rose on the bed, and she's smelling it. He left there, and then she get a knock at the door, and it's Lulu. And so he like, hey, look, I just want to talk to you, man. I just want to show you this apartment. She like, this crack house? He like, look, we can do better. When you said do better, I was upset. But what we can do is we can make this a place where people can get a start and start over. She like, oh, Lucius. He like, look, I'm just saying, I was defensive and I'm wrong. And then she lay back and he start kissing on her and he lift that leg up because it's time for him to sample some local seafood. And then she started leaning back, feeling all good and hot and bothered, and that's the end of the episode. In the end, the episode was all right. I don't know what they can do to spice this season up with all the drama going on and things, but I do want to know who's going to be in the casket. It's going to be interesting. In the end, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace, and I'm out.